Hello, thank you for tuning in to Kaieteur Radio. I'm Kevin Smith and welcome to your news at noon. These are the top stories we're tracking. $50 million seed paddy facility unused for 13 years now needs $25 million to become operable. Oil and gas industry becoming a fossil. UN Secretary General warns at trade conference that it's time to build a sustainable green economy. Wildlife habitat destroyed, beach closed as oil spills hit California. Guyana remains unprotected without full coverage insurance. Citizens calls Kaieteur News after seeing stolen car in New Amsterdam. And dead host ends wedding reception. Meanwhile, gunmen invade shop, duct tape Venezuelan siblings, and escape with cash and jewelry. Stay tuned to stay informed.
Hello, hi. Let me show you something lit. Get your free chats now with me. Tell me video and voice calls. Discover and get, and that's not all. Cash and prizes for all of us. It's exciting, it's fabulous. Translate, populate, locate, innovate, but shh. It's a secret, no need to keep it. You won't see me here again. 3, 2, 1. I'll see you in a bit. Download the app now for chat.
And now for the news in detail. During the time of former Minister of Agriculture, Robert Prasad, the Guyana Rice Development Board had used $50 million from the national purse to construct a seed paddy facility in Blackbush Polder, Region 6. Following its successful construction, the facility was commissioned in 2008. It was outfitted with state-of-the-art equipment to double price production by 2025. 13 years later, however, the PPP's new Minister of Agriculture, Zulfikar Mustafa, discovered that the facility never achieved its purpose, as it was never used. The minister made this startling find during a visit to the facility back in April. During that visit, Minister Mustafa expressed disappointment in the fact that the millions of dollars were invested to ensure the facility was outfitted with modern equipment, yet it was left to languish. Since that visit, Mustafa has committed $25 million towards getting the structure upgraded and operable. And moving on, according to a Reuters report, a large oil spill off the southern California coast has left fishes dead, birds mired in petroleum, and contaminated wetlands and beaches closed. The oil spill, which is being called an environmental catastrophe, comes as an eye-opener for Guyana, as the country remains unprotected without full coverage insurance in the event of an oil spill. Even as California grapples with this environmental catastrophe, Guyana is yet to put measures in place to effectively deal with such a disaster. We had reported that Guyana lacks the funds, equipment, personnel, and experience to deal with a well blowout. Such a circumstance would be economically and environmentally catastrophic and have a comparable impact on shareholders' investments in ExxonMobil. What makes Guyana's case even more concerning is the fact that it is without full coverage insurance for any of the projects being led by ExxonMobil in conjunction with its partners Hess Corporation and Sinnoh Petroleum Guyana Limited. And moving on, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres issued a stern warning yesterday morning that the oil and gas industry is destined to become a fossil. Hence the need for nations to act as quickly as possible to build and support a sustainable green economy. Guterres thanked Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley for providing insight into the enormous effort her government is making to ensure Barbados is able to defeat COVID-19, climate change, and inequality in the world. Guterres also noted that the building of a green economy worldwide will require no new coal plants, the phasing out subsidies for fossil fuels and polluting industries, and putting a price on carbon and channeling that back to schools, hospitals, social protections, and job creation. It will also require supporting developing countries as they make the shift to green economies, said Guterres. And interesting news, less than 24 hours after Kaieteur published an article revealing that a man had found his stolen car for sale on Facebook, the vehicle was spotted in New Amsterdam, Berbice. Yesterday, a resident of New Amsterdam called into Kaieteur just after 13 hours, stating that he had spotted the car in the Tokber Park area around 12 hours 30. The man, who requested anonymity, said he was driving just behind the car when he recalled it was the same vehicle he had seen on the publication's website. The owner of the car, Kevin Queso, on Sunday last found his car being advertised for sale while browsing through the eBay Deals Facebook page. On that page, the car was posted for sale since March of this year. When we reached out to the police in Region 6 on the matter, they indicated that once they are in contact with the owner of the motor car, an investigation will be conducted. And now let's tell you, a wedding house celebration on Sunday came to an abrupt end after the host of the event was found dead. The host, identified as Ricky Prasad, was a laborer of Harrison Street, Good Fortune, West Bank, Demerara. According to reports, guests and relatives were forced to stop celebrating around 2 hours 30 after Prasad's sister-in-law and her husband reportedly stumbled upon his body in the upper flat of his residence. They found that the main switch was off, and according to the sister-in-law, she decided to switch it back on. After the lights came on, they claimed that it was then that they saw Prasad lying on the floor motionless and facing upwards. No marks of violence were discovered on the man's body, and so far police revealed that one person is in custody assisting with investigations. Meanwhile, 3 gunmen on Sunday reportedly invaded a grocery shop at Buckhall, located along the Essequibo River in Region 3, and duct-taped 2 Venezuelan siblings before escaping with 2 smartphones valued $88,000, a 20-penny-weight gold chain worth $220,000, and $200,000 cash before they escaped. The siblings, identified by police as Erickson and Erica Perales, were robbed sometime just after midnight. Erica claimed that she had managed to free herself from the duct tape and freed her brother as well before they made a report to the police. And back to oil, ESSO has submitted an application to the EPA seeking environmental authorization for another 12-well exploration drilling campaign, this time in the controversial Kaieteur block, to begin drilling by the second quarter of next year. This is according to the project summary submitted to the EPA, and also indicated that if a discovery is made, a well test may be performed. The 12-well campaign in the Kaieteur block is expected to be concluded by 2027, providing for a 5-year duration. According to a recent public notice by the EPA, the application for the project listed has been screened by the agency to assess the potential environmental impacts. The Kaieteur block is located in deep water, over 200 kilometers northeast of the coastline of Georgetown and adjacent to the northern boundaries of the Stabroek and Kanji blocks. And coming from DPI, the Ministry of Health will soon introduce a new type of COVID-19 vaccination card in an effort to curb the forging of vaccination documents. This is according to Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony. He added that while the majority of persons in the healthcare sector are quote-unquote honest and hardworking people, there are a few who are dishonest and are facilitating the forging of COVID-19 vaccination booklets. He disclosed that currently there are 15 cases of this type of forgery being investigated by the Ghana Police Force. The Health Minister highlighted that this type of practice is dangerous, and once a person is caught forging documents, he or she will face the full brunt of the law. And now for your COVID-19 update, followed by the page 7 of the Kaieteur News. The Ministry of Health yesterday reported that 4 more persons who contracted COVID-19 have died. As a result of this, the country's COVID-19 death toll has moved to 803. According to the ministry, the latest fatalities are that of 3 unvaccinated persons and a partially vaccinated person. Meanwhile, 103 new infections were recorded, bringing the total number of confirmed cases to 32,586. 31 patients are in the ICU, 122 in institutional isolation, 3,603 in home isolation, and 6 in institutional quarantine. To date, a total of 28,027 persons who tested positive for the virus have recovered. A mile of falls, hydro is back, and its aim is to break Guyana's back. All the same old vultures are gathering. They come back to put their names in the hat for what promises to be a corruption feast involving local cronies and criminal foreigners. Wherever rich blood, bone, and flesh are, the predators are sure to come calling. They are not of the four-legged species. They are human. Guyanese. We are dartboards and the garbage dump. Everyone is making a fool of us, from leaders to outsiders. And with that, we've come to the end of today's News at Noon. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225